Hi there, my dear friends. Today I would really like to show you how to make this beautiful scarf, which features this particular stitch that is just really cute. I made mine using a yarn that's 50 grams and 133 meters. To make mine, which is 1.70 meters long, I needed 250 grams. My yarn called for a needle, number 4.5, but I used the number 5 needle because this stitch is already a bit tighter, so I wanted a slightly larger needle so it would turn out a bit softer. Shall we get started with the step-by-step? To make my project, I'm going to use this yarn, which is an acrylic yarn, 50 grams, 133 meters. And I will work with a number 5 needle. The yarn calls for a number 3.5 needle, but I am going to use my number 5 needle. I will need a number of chains that is a multiple of 2, that is an even number. So for mine, that's what I'll be working with, 250 chains. So I'm going to make all my 250 chains and then I'll come back. I've already made my 250 chains. You can make as many as you want, so it will be the length you desire. Now I start the first row by skipping the first chain without working into it. I go into my second chain and make a single crochet. I make one chain. I skip one chain without working into it, go into the next one and make a single crochet. I make one chain, skip one chain without working into it, go into the next one and make a single crochet. One chain, skip one chain without working into it, go into the next one and make a single crochet. I make one chain, skip one chain without working into it, go into the next one and make a single crochet. So that's how I'm going to work this entire row. I've already finished working the entire row and it looks like this. Now I start my second row by making one chain. I turn my work, and in this row I won't work into the stitches from the first row, but instead I'll work down here where I made, in my case, the 250 chains. So I go here to where I have my first chain, and in the first chain I've already made the single crochet. And I'm going to work a half double crochet into it, so I yarn over, insert my hook into my first chain and make my half double crochet. I make one chain, skip my second chain and the third without working into them, then go into my fourth chain and make a half double crochet. I make one chain. I'm going to skip one chain without working into it because in that chain I've already made a single crochet. I go to the next one where I haven't worked any stitches yet and make a half double crochet. I make one chain, skip the next chain without working into it, which is where I've already made a single crochet there. I go to the one after that where I haven't worked yet and I make a stitch, a half double crochet. I make one chain. I skip one chain without working into it, then go to the next one, which is the chain where I haven't made any stitches yet. And I make a half double crochet. One chain. I'm going to skip one chain without working into it, go to the next one and make a half double crochet. One chain, I'm going to skip one chain without working into it, go to the next one, which is always the one I haven't worked into yet. There's still no stitch in it and I make a half double crochet. So like this, I'll keep working this way for the entire row. So I've already finished working the whole row. I made the last half double crochet where I had the last chain that hadn't been worked yet. Now in the next chain I already have my single crochet. So what I'm going to do now is go directly into my next single crochet stitch and carefully make a slip stitch right there. Just like this, you can see that I have successfully finished working all the way across this entire row. To begin the very next row, I'm going to start by making a single chain stitch, then carefully turning my work over to the other side, and then I will be going right back into that very same stitch where I just finished making my previous slip stitch, simply inserting the crochet hook directly into that exact same spot, and then working one complete half double crochet right there in that space. It's almost as if this half double crochet is on top of the stitch. Slip stitch because it's worked right there in the same little spot down below. In this row, I'm going to work it by inserting into my first row. That's why now I make a chain. I go here, right where I have my first row, I have my half double crochet, which is here, and I have the single crochet, which is right next to it. I have the half double crochet from the second row and the single crochet from the first row. I'm going to have to go between the two, so I move this half double crochet a little to the side. Here, between the half double crochet and the single crochet, there's a space left. I go into this space and work the half double crochet. So I go in there, in the first row between the half double crochet and the single crochet, and I work my half double crochet. I make a chain, then I go to where I have the next half double crochet, separate it from the single crochet from the row below. Here, between the two, there's a little hole. I go right in there, picking up from the first row, right? I have my hook in the first row and I work the half double crochet. I make a chain. Where I have the next half double crochet, I separate it from the single crochet from the row below. Here in the middle, there will be a little hole. I go into the little hole from the first row, because in this row I will always be working into the first row. And I will work the half double crochet. I am making a long chain. I go to where I have the next half double crochet, separate it from the single crochet of the first row, and between the two there will be a little hole. I go into that hole and work the half double crochet. I make a chain, go to where I have the next half double crochet, separate it from the single crochet of the first row, and work the half double crochet. I make a chain, go to where I have the next half double crochet, separate it from the single crochet of the first row, and work the half double crochet. So like this, I will continue working all the way around my row. I've already worked my entire row up to the point where I make the half double crochet, which is between the half double crochet from the row below and the single crochet from the first row. Now I come here where I have the next half double crochet, which was the first stitch of the previous row. I go to where I have my half double crochet and work a slip stitch. So it turned out like this. Now I'm going to start the next row, which I will work just like I did in the previous row. That's why I make a chain and turn my work. I go right into the same stitch where I worked the slip stitch and make a half double crochet. So I yarn over, go in there and work my half double crochet. I am making a long metal chain. Now I go to where I have the next half double crochet, which in this row is half double crochet on top of half double crochet, because in the second row I worked a half double crochet and in the third as well. So here I'm going to separate the half double crochet from my third row with the half double crochet from the second row. And right here between the two, there will be a little gap, and that's where I work the half double crochet. Now I work into the second row because I always work one row below the one I just finished. That's why I go into the second row and work the half double crochet. I make a chain, then go to where I have the half double crochet from the third row together with the half double crochet from the second row. I separate the two, and there's a little gap here in the second row. I go into the second row and work my half double crochet. I work a chain, go to where I have the next half double crochet from the third row and separate it with the half double crochet from the second row. Here between the two there's a little gap. I go there and work the half double crochet. I work a chain, go to where I have the next half double crochet and separate them. The one from the third row with the one from the second row, there's a gap there in my second row, and I go there and work the half double crochet. A chain, I go to the next half double crochet of the third row, separate it with the one from the second. There's a gap there in the second row. I go there and work the half double crochet. So it ends up looking like this. I'll keep going like this, working all the way around my row. So I've already finished my row. I made my last half double crochet here. In the last stitch, where the half double crochet meets the one from the row below, I went there between the two and worked the half double crochet. Now here I have just a half double crochet that stands alone, which is that first half double crochet we worked in the previous row. I go into this half double crochet and make a slip stitch. To begin the next row, I'll start by making a single chain. Then carefully turn my work around, go right back into the exact same spot where I just made my slip stitch, and work one complete half double crochet right there. I make a chain, then I go to where I find the half double crochet from the last row and the half double crochet from the row before that. I'm going to separate the two right here between them. I go into the row before last, insert my hook and work a half double crochet. A chain, then I go to where I have the next half double crochet, separate it from the half double crochet of the previous row. I go to my second to last row and work a half double crochet. A chain where I have the next half double crochet from the last row. I separate it from the half double crochet of the previous row in the middle, leaving a little gap. I insert my hook into the previous row between the two stitches and make a half double crochet. A chain, then I go to the next half double crochet. I separate it from the one in the previous row. The space is left, I insert into that little gap there in the second to last row and work a half double crochet. So like this, I will keep working this entire row and all the other rows I need until it reaches the size I want. I'll come back just to work the last row together. So I've already worked the rows I need for it to be the size I want. That's why now I'm going to work the last row. For my last row, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing I've been doing so far, except instead of making a half double crochet, I'll work a single crochet. So I start my row by working a chain, then I go right into the same place where I already made my slip stitch and work a single crochet. I make a chain, then go to where I have my first half double crochet and separate it. From the half double crochet of the previous row, I go into the previous row between the two stitches and work a single crochet. A chain, then I go to where I have the next half double crochet, separate it from the half double crochet of the previous row, and between the two I insert my hook and work a single crochet. I make a chain, go to where I have the next half double crochet and separate it from the half double crochet of the previous row. I go into the previous row and work a single crochet. A chain, then I go to where I have the next half double crochet and separate it from the half double crochet of the previous row. I go in between the two from the previous row and work a single crochet. A chain, I go to where I have the next half double crochet from the last row, separate it from the half double crochet of the previous row, insert my hook into the previous row and work a single crochet. And like this, I will continue working this entire row, which will be my last row. I've already finished working the whole row. So like this, up here it ended up looking pretty much like how we started down here, because down here as well, the first row was worked in single crochet. So now I can cut my yarn and finish off because my work is already done. And like this, my scarf is already finished. Here I have one side that already has the edging. Here at the beginning, which is where we started the rows, and it looks like this on both sides, and my stitch. Thank you all very much. If you want, subscribe down below to the channel, and see you next time.